Traditional owners continue to stand firm against the Northern Territory Government's proposed changes to the Sacred Sites Act, while in the business world, Shannon Motlop's Aboriginal Community Harvest is pushing for global recognition of native foods. Indigenous designer Samala Cronin is reshaping the feminine care industry with her new range, and $2.9 million in federal funding will aim to improve outcomes for Indigenous mothers and babies. More on that later. Kaya, this is the National Indigenous Times Daily News Bulletin for Friday the 28th of March. The Northern Land Council has strongly opposed the Northern Territory Government's proposed amendments to the Sacred Sites Act, calling it a rush job that prioritises business interests over cultural heritage. Northern Land Council Chair Matthew Ryan criticised the lack of consultation with traditional owners, saying the move undermines hard-won rights. The Central Land Council and the Aboriginal Areas Protection Authority also condemned the changes, citing concerns over transparency and an extremely short feedback window. Central Land Council Chair Warren Williams accused the government of offering empty talk instead of details. From the footy field to the business world, former AFL player Shannon Motlop is paving the way for Australia's native foods to gain global recognition through his company, Aboriginal Community Harvest. Since launching independently in 2021, Aboriginal Community Harvest has harvested kakadu plum, magpie geese, green ants, and rosella hibiscus, while working closely with traditional owners and creating local employment. With support from Aboriginal Investment NT, Motlop has expanded operations and aims to tap into the booming native food industry, projected to double by 2025. His vision is to introduce more native ingredients to restaurants and take Indigenous foods beyond Australia's borders. Indigenous designer Samala Cronin is breaking new ground with Sacred Cycles, Australia's first Indigenous and female-owned brand offering sustainable alternatives in feminine care. The collection features period underwear made from 100% organic bamboo, free from plastics and toxins, prioritising body sovereignty, sustainability and cultural integrity. Cronin, who has personally navigated infertility, PCOS and endometriosis, created the range to honour and support women's cycles rather than just manage them. Pre-orders open Monday via the Mum Red website, with a major retail partnership announcement on the horizon. A register and pay it forward initiative will also allow donations to First Nations women in need. Traditional owners are calling for the Northern Territory Government to prosecute gas explorers following a fracking spill at Beetaloo Basin, which has caused ongoing environmental damage. Empire Energy and Tamboran Resources, the two companies drilling in the region, have faced 7 compliance breaches in the past year. Traditional custodians and an independent scientist were denied access to test spill sites, raising concerns over transparency. The debate over Victoria's tough new bail laws has intensified, with Senator Lydia Thorpe questioning whether the federal government supports jailing children. The laws backed by the Prime Minister, despite contradicting closing the gap targets, prioritise community safety over remand as a last resort and have drawn widespread criticism from human rights, Indigenous and legal groups. Meanwhile, Indigenous legal services continue to face funding shortfalls, with National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander legal services warning that mass incarceration and systematic bias remain unaddressed. Charter Holdings, an Aboriginal-owned facilities management company in Karratha, is partnering with Woodside to carry out vital land rehabilitation in the Pilbara region using traditional Indigenous knowledges and practices. The project aims to restore native vegetation, improve soil health and create economic opportunities, while prioritising cultural and environmental management. Charter's Managing Director, Greg Renton, emphasised the importance of reconnecting with country, stating the land holds the community's history, identity and stories. The partnership also boosts local employment and skills training, fostering long-term careers in construction and land management. Renton views this collaboration as a model for future Indigenous business engagements, aiming to create lasting benefits for future generations. A research project led by La Trobe University aimed at improving outcomes for Indigenous mothers and babies has secured $2.9 million in federal funding. The project, led by Professor Della Forster and community elder Auntie Gina Bundle, building on previous work with the Victorian Aboriginal Community Controlled Health Organisation. The project connects women with the same midwife throughout pregnancy, birth and postpartum, improving outcomes by addressing risk factors unique to Indigenous mothers. Early results show positive impacts, with babies born to women in the program more likely to be healthy and less likely to be born prematurely. The funding will enable the program to extend its reach, benefiting an additional 1,600 women and families, and further collaborations with local Aboriginal health services. The Potter Museum at Melbourne University will reopen on May 30 with the exhibition 65,000 Years, A Short History of Australian Art, featuring over 450 works by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander artists. Co-curated by Professor Marsha Langton, Judith Ryan and Shanisa McConville, this major exhibition spans art from early colonisation to the present, exploring the rich traditions of Indigenous art, cultural resistance and innovation. It highlights the delayed recognition of Indigenous art within the Australian fine art world and aims to celebrate its profound influence. This will be the first time these Indigenous collections will be exhibited together, offering a deep exploration of Indigenous culture and history, framed by authoritative Indigenous scholars. That's today's Daily News Roundup from the National Indigenous Times. For more news, head to nit.com.au and sign up to our free newsletter today.